Hi, I'm Anne from the Artful Grimmer. Today I'll show you how to create this fun and vibrant colourful painting. So this painting is based on one of my original painted pot designs, and I really love the combination of warm tropical colours and the way the white leafy outlines make the piece really pop. For this project I'm using a 40 by 50 centimetre single thick canvas, some acrylic paint pens, acrylic brushes and a pencil. The paint I'm using is the acrylic colour range in titanium white, medium yellow, vermilion, orange, magenta, purple, viridian and sap green. However, feel free to use whatever colour combinations speak to you. Before I begin painting, I pre-made some geometric stencil shapes to use as a guide for my design. So I've cut these stencils out on some cardboard, and then I place them on the canvas and trace around them to create some of the elements of my design. To get started, place the stencils onto the canvas and trace around them with a pencil. Use a ruler as well as freehand some organic lines to lay out your design. I like to use my pinky finger to keep my hand steady while doing the organic line work. Now that I'm happy with the design, I move on to my favourite part, which is the painting. So here I grab a medium flat acrylic paintbrush with some medium yellow paint, and I fill in the centre circle and the left corner of the canvas. And then I do the same with orange, followed by vermilion to paint in some of the other shapes. Next, using a slightly smaller brush, I mix some orange into white to make a nice pastel orange shade for the next shape fill. Here I combine white with vermilion to make a light pink colour to fill in some more areas of my canvas. The next colour I make is a creamy beige colour, and I do this by combining the pastel orange shade that I used earlier with just a touch of medium yellow. I use this colour to fill in the little section on the bottom right. The next colour is eggplant. To make this shade, I mix purple with magenta, and then I use this colour to fill in the large area in the middle of the canvas. The next step is to paint in the leaves. The first colour is turquoise, which I make by mixing together viridian with just a little bit of white. I use this colour to fill in one half of each leaf shape. For the other half of each leaf, I mix mostly sap green with a bit of viridian to make a deep green colour. I use that colour to paint in the remaining halves of the leaves. Here I'm crisping up the line work on the centre circle. To get a thick opaque finish, I'll paint a second coat on all the colours. And once they're dry, I'll take a white paint pen to add in some crisp outlines and extra detail. For this artwork, I've chosen to add white details over the top of the painted leaves, as well as put in some line drawn leaves. My biggest tip is to try and keep a steady hand while applying a bit of pressure for clean and even line work, and also just turn the canvas around as needed while you're drawing. Feel free at this point to add in any other details you would like to really make this your own. We can't wait to see what you've come up with. Hashtag Montmartre Art or tag us on Instagram or Facebook at Montmartre Art. We'll see you soon.